The officials tonight are Daryl Garrettson and Tommy Nunez. And this year, the Bulls are out in front 2-1. They won here early in the year against the Hawks. Opening tip controlled and a jam by Michael Jordan.
Not a great way to have to start the ball game, getting Michael off on the dunk. Of course, Doug Collins worried about the Hawks and trying to hope he can prevent them from getting a lot of dunks so they can keep the crowd out of it.
Wilkins answers, and this battle between Wilkins and Jordan is underway. I would say that the gauntlet has been thrown. Opening moments from the Omni. Brown feeding to Sevens. He's fouled. There was a block involved there, but the foul is going to be called on Dominique Wilkins.
And Livingston had come over and done a great job to block the shot, so it was a very inopportune time for Dominique to pick up the foul. They can ill afford to lose him. Here's the back cut. Good move. Dominique recovers quickly. Excellent pass. And there's a little bit of a bump with the body as Livingston, as you see, 53 with the block. But Tommy Nunez right on the call underneath the basket, had a good angle on it.
Sellers, a 75% free throw shooter. He has not been playing as well as the Bulls need him to play at the quick forward position. As a matter of fact, he's not rebounding much at all. Had no rebounds at all against Washington last night.
Well, that is certainly an area of the game that he needs to work on. However, where he plays offensively does not allow him to get a lot of rebounds on the offensive end of the court. It depends who he's guarding down the other end. But when you're 7 feet tall, Bob, you should be picking up a few somewhere along the line.
A little better than a donut, yeah. It's tied. It's 4-2 Bulls here after the free throws. Hawks looking for a tie. Opening moments. Wilkins from 18. And yes, Dominique Wilkins, he had 45 points last night and said right before the game, I feel as though my game is in its rhythm.
And it's very obvious by what he's doing as you have a push-off foul against Oakley as he went to get position against contact. And when you get an offensive player like Dominique Wilkins who has that feeling, I would not want to be the player having to guard him because he feels that everything he throws up is going to go in. But what I've liked is he's squared up and shot the ball quickly and hasn't hesitated and fired a bad shot.
Trying to get Doc Rivers on the baseline. Sparrow playing well defensively. Wilkins in the paint. This is his first shot, kept alive, but controlled by Michael Jordan.
And that's the type of bad shot I was talking about.
Game tied at 4. Jordan running the show here, gets it to Mike Brown, who's a good perimeter shooter. Misses from about 19 feet, but it's certainly not what they want out of Mike Brown. He only plays about 10 minutes at center. Corzine will play 25 to 30 for the Bulls. Wilkins.
That's what he needs to do. He came off the screen, he caught the ball, squared up and shot it, wasted no time. And when he does that and they set the good pick, no one's going to be stopping him.
Dominique 3 out of 4.
What they need to do if they make an adjustment is have whoever's setting the screen be the man to jump out.
Here's Brown inside against contact, got him airborne, and finally the foul. First time contact was able to avoid the foul, but not the second time.
We'll watch the action inside. Pass goes inside to Brown. Contact, let him get it inside the paint. Joins the paratrooper club and makes you an automatic member of the paratrooper club. It's okay when the guy's actually shooting, but on the face, he's supposed to stay on the floor.
6'4" Hawks. Oakley just inside three-point range, and Charles Oakley hits from long range. It is tied at 6. 9:48 to go, first quarter from the Omni in Atlanta. Dominique Wilkins gets the pass from Whitman. Whitman in a real shooting slump. Wilkins is not in a slump. He's 4 out of 5 and red hot. 8-6 Atlanta. Rory Sparrow, his 8th straight start at the point guard position. Nice pass from Jordan to Brown, who missed. Contact rebound. Contact had 9 rebounds against the Knicks yesterday. Now Whitman hitting. If Whitman starts hitting the perimeter shot, Chicago's going to have a whole lot of trouble. 10-6 Atlanta. It's early, first quarter. Sparrow from the baseline on the pass from Jordan. Jordan had 2 assist opportunities, but the guys couldn't score. Wilkins on the reverse. Dominique Wilkins is on fire. 10 of Atlanta's 12 points.
He is now playing in another zone. He has reached a new level in the beginning of this ball game.
Right Wilkins-Jordan answers. Well, if you bought tickets to see these two Supermen, you've already got your money's worth, folks. Wilkins on the turnaround. He's fouled by Sellers.
That was not a good shot. That's the second bad shot he's taken. He did miss it, but they did call the foul as Sellers bailed him out. Now let's watch Dominique on the other shot down the other end of the court when we get the rebound by Livingston, 53. He kicks it out to Neek. Look at the ball handling. Behind the back for a big man. Goes against the three. The right hand, a little flip with the reverse spin. Nice and soft. And now he's at the line finishing off another opportunity to score.
Dominique's the second best free throw shooter on this team. Shoots at an 84% clip. Last 4 games, Dominique Wilkins has averaged more than 40 points and has scored 161 points in 160 minutes of playing time. Atlanta 14-8. Jordan working against Whitman from 16, and Michael Jordan is getting rolling tonight. Jordan leading the league with 32.9 scoring average, hitting 52% of his shots. Hawks by 4. Wilkins. Yes.
And that's the long range shot, but again, he came off that screen, squared up to the basket, and this is the best I have seen Dominique coming off of screens and being prepared to shoot the ball.
Now, Rick, Coach Barry, you're going to have to try to give me an answer on how to stop Dominique Wilkins. Wilkins is on the left, Livingston down the middle for Rivers. Oakley with the rebound, NBA's leading rebounder.
He was drifting that time, and that's a difficult shot. The way you do it, Bob, is the man who's doing the screening against his man has got to be talking, and he needs to jump out and switch it. And get in the passing lane so the pass can't be made.
Jordan.
Oh. Now what do you do to stop him? Because he's just going one-on-one out on the top of the key. It's pretty tough. Dominique's coming off of a screen. He should get some help.
And he'll go to the free throw line. Doc Rivers with the basket. 18-12, Atlanta leading. We have 6 minutes, 58 seconds to go in the first quarter. And the Atlanta Hawks and Chicago Bulls are off to a fireworks beginning here, with particularly Jordan and Dominique Wilkins lighting it up. Wilkins has 14, Jordan has 8. 19-12, Atlanta. Livingston on Oakley to Jordan, open in the lane, around Koncak, the 7-footer.
Listen, I have to make a big correction here. It was Herman Munster, not Lurch. Lurch was from another show. The Addams Family.
We aim for accuracy here. Here is Cliff Livingston over Oakley from the perimeter. It will fall. Cliff Livingston, who's been playing well in place of the recently injured Kevin Willis. Willis is okay, but hasn't really warmed back up from knee sprain. And traveling is the call. I thought we were going to call in Livingston, but instead traveling. Second turnover. Third for the Bulls, second for Oakland. 19-14 Atlanta. Koncak against the undersized Mike Brown. Koncak will get the basket and go to the line. This is, for John Koncak, his 5th straight start. Been playing about 25 minutes a game, and he may be coming into his own. Tree Rollins had been starting. Rollins playing with a sore back. Scottie Pippen getting set to check into the basketball game for the Bulls. Pippen had a good night last night in Chicago against Washington. He has been slumping of late, however.
Well, second time around, when you're a rookie, you have to learn to make some adjustments because everyone else has made adjustments to you.
Shot clock to 10. Mike Brown on the turnaround from about 12 feet. Mike Brown with his first points of the night. Hawks have stayed with his starting lineup of Doc Rivers, Randy Whitman, Livingston Koncak, and Dominique Wilkins, who has 14 points already. Illegal defense called against the Bulls as Whitman drives That'll be just a warning. They'll be inbounded with a new shot clock, and Pippen comes in for Sellers. He's talking about Pippen's performance when he played last night. He had in 14 minutes, he was 4 out of 5 shooting, had 3 rebounds, 5 assists, a steal, and a blocked shot. So he had a good performance against the Washington Bullets. Dominique Wilkins with the finger roll.
Well, a little schooling for the rookie.
Scotty says, give me the bullets again. Jordan is held by Whitman. Check the team foul situation. 3 against both clubs with 5:04 to go in the first quarter. Corzine checking in for Mike Brown for the Bulls. Oakley on the drive against Livingston. Blocked by Livingston. Here's going to be a show. The challenge has been issued for the slam dunk contest on All-Star Saturday, to be seen here on the Superstation on February 6th. Dominique Wilkins, Michael Jordan, and Spud Webb of the Hawks among the participants in that. It is going to be some battle, and Dominique Wilkins is now 8 out of 10 shooting. Hawks lead 25-16.
See Rory Sparrow picking up Doc Rivers. I asked him before the game what his strategy would be to play him. This is the first time he's been starting and playing Rivers. He says, I'm going to pick him up all over and try and tire him out.
9 out of 11 for Dominique Wilkins. He has 20 in the first quarter, and already we're going to the record books. Timeout, Chicago. 4:19 to go, quarter number 1.
Well, you know, what I'm doing now, I'm exerting myself a little more than I've been doing, especially at the beginning of the season. You know, I'm on a mission somewhat because I want to prove to the league as well as to myself that, you know, I am one of the best players, and I want to come out every night, even on the road, and show people that I am this, that.
Well, I'll tell you, Bob Neal, the mission he is on is search and destroy. And I don't know if you people watching realize what has happened here. This man has scored 20 points in 7 minutes and 41 seconds. Now, I've had the good fortune of having some pretty big offensive days in my career, but I can't ever remember having something like he has just exhibited to you in these first 7 minutes and 41 seconds. So hold on to your hat. There's plenty more to come with Dominique Wilkins tonight. And Michael Jordan isn't too shabby so far.
27-16 Atlanta. Bulls ball. Corzine on the turnaround off the glass. Dave Corzine over Koncak. 27-18. By the way, in case you're wondering about the Hawks, the most ever scored by an Atlanta Hawk in the history of the franchise in a quarter, Cliff Hagan, back in 1958, had 25 points. Wilkins well in range of that. Make it 26 points.
That's 22 and counting, Bob.
Wilkins with 22, the Hawks record in a quarter. Cliff Hagan in 58 for 26. The Omni record for points in a quarter has just been tied. John Drew had 22 and 78. Bob McAdoo 22 and 75. You are watching some history here tonight from Wilkins. There's no extra charge. Traveling Scottie Pippen.
He should have taken that shot, Bob. He had a wide open 15-footer, and he should have looked to shoot, but he was thinking pass.
Horace Grant, who's been playing well, is about to come into the ballgame for Chicago as Kevin Willis has checked in for the Atlanta Hawks at forward in place of Livingston. Hawks have Whitman and Rivers, Koncak, Dominique Wilkins, and Kevin Willis. Wilkins for 3. He's trying them from everywhere. Long rebound to Doc Rivers, who scores on the drive.
Another area of the game Doug Collins is concerned about, the offensive rebounding of Doc Rivers. Did not like the results on that last play. Of course, Neek is really hot now, but that's a little bit too far out of his range.
2:50 to go in the first quarter. Here's Pippen from 17. He buries his jumper. Scottie Pippen, 4 out of 5 shooting from the floor last night against Washington.
And he's been having trouble with his shot, a little bit too flat. That last one was a nice shot. He shot up towards the basket, got a little more arc on it.
Hawks out to an 11-point early lead thanks to Wilkins' 22 first quarter points already. Nice pass inside to Doc Rivers. And Rivers has 7. 22 for Wilkins, 7 for Rivers, and 2 for Konkak, and that's the Atlanta Hawks scoring. Sparrow from 18. Long rebound chased down by Oakley. Look out! One hand. It's the old cupper. Well, that just broke the Omni record for most points in a quarter. Had previously been held by John Drew and Bob McAdoo. 24 points now for Wilkins. He's on the left wing for Rivers, in case you're looking for him. He's into contact, can't hold it. Jordan.
He's tired right now. He's going to need a blow at the end of this quarter.
Corzine with the jam. It is 35-22 Atlanta with 1:29 to go in the quarter. Remember, the Atlanta Hawks quarter record is 26 points, set by Cliff Hagan back in 1958. And the pass from Rivers intended for Willis goes out of bounds. It'll be Chicago ball as Tree Rollins comes in for John Konkak. Paxson and Grant get in for Chicago. Resting for Chicago will be Sparrow and Oakley. Dominique Wilkins, number 21, right on the left of your screen there, is just flat worn out, as Rick told you.
But he'll shoot it if he gets it again, I can tell you that.
Rivers with the reverse, won't fall. Gets the loose ball. There's Willis battling. We're going to have a jump ball. Willis and Horace Grant. Livingston checking back in for Dominique Wilkins. So he's not going to break the Hawks quarter record of 26. But Dominique Wilkins has broken the Omni quarter record with 24 points. 11 of 14 from the floor. An incredible performance by Dominique Wilkins in the first period of this ball game. .56 seconds remaining in the first quarter. And by the way, the Hawks are out to a 13-point lead. Almost forgot about the team score with that performance. It's out of bounds off Willis. He's struggling. Kevin Willis has been struggling since he's tried to return from his knee injury. Missed 7 games with a sprained knee. Returned on January 5th, but has not played well. Jordan missing long. Rebound Whitman. Jordan has 10 first quarter points.
Well, you know, we had a big one-on-one battle this afternoon, too. I had to get out and play a little bit against our producer, Kim Belton.
Yeah, who won that game?
Oh, it was real close.
16 seconds in the quarter. Whitman came off the screen over Pippen, and we've got a foul. It's against Chicago with 10 seconds remaining in the quarter.
Well, Scotty got a break that time because he fouled Whitman twice.
That was, we were talking about the Dominique Wilkins performance. That also broke the Dominique Wilkins quarter high personal record this year. He had 18 in a quarter versus the Knicks. That was just last night. Yesterday afternoon, I should say. 24 points in this quarter. John Battle checking in for Doc Rivers for Atlanta. Whitman gets the free throw. Whitman now with 3 points. 8 seconds to go in the quarter. Hawks by 15. Corzine for 3. Livingston rebound as the buzzer ends. And what a quarter you have just witnessed at the Omni in Atlanta. Hawks lead 37-22. Dominique Wilkins scored 24 points in the quarter. The Hawks shot 76% in the first quarter, thanks primarily, of course, to Wilkins.
What got lost in the shuffle, though, is that Michael Jordan was 5 for 6 for 10 points. That's a 40-point night at that rate.
Kevin Willis. Power move inside, and that's what Willis does well when he plays well. He has not been making that move since he returned from the knee sprain until you just saw it then. 39-22 Atlanta. Pippen missing from the perimeter, controlled by Paxson. He can really fire it from there and does. John Paxson
Willis was wide open. Battle didn't see him. He had beaten everyone down the court.
Whitman fouled on the shot by John Paxson. Following the game, Craig Sager will be in our studios in Atlanta with all the latest scores around the NBA. Plus, Rick and I will have the Miller Lite player of the game. That follows tonight's action.
Sedale 3'd into the ball game now as Paxson picked up that foul. And Sedale has had 2 very good games lately. The prior 6 games, he had 5 did not plays, the nips as they call them, coach's decision. And he is the type of player that really causes a problem sometimes for coaches because he has great skills, great abilities, but he doesn't play the game the way they would like him to play it. And so it's very frustrating for the coach to see all of this skill and talent being misused. But obviously the last 2 ball games, he's done a good job for them. 26 and 16 in the last 2 outings.
11 minutes, 12 seconds to go, second quarter. Traveling against the Chicago Bulls.
The thing about Sedale is that he can score points and shoot it, but it's the other little things that he has to work on more. Playing the better defense, the team aspect of the defense, doing a little rebounding. We'll see what he does tonight.
That's 6 Bulls turnovers in the game. 2 for the Hawks. Whitman missing badly. He's really been struggling with the perimeter shot, and that is his role on this club. Here's 3. Corzine over to Pippen against Livingston. Nice pass inside to Paxson, but he's played by Battle. Off to Pippen. Kept alive by Rollins, controlled by Willis. Paxson with a loose ball. Paxson heating up. Call him the Chicago microwave. Of course, Vinnie Johnson with the Detroit Pistons, known as the microwave because he heats up so quickly. Paxson, though, comes in hot tonight.
Well, that's why Doug Collins moved him to the bench from the starting position to give him some offense off the bench.
Hawks reversing it. Whitman on the drive. Seems to be forcing his shots. Corzine to Sedale Threet. (41-26) Atlanta. Pippen open from 19 feet. Kevin Willis. Battle to Livingston. Nice pass inside. The 7-footer Willis can't control it. Threet blows past Rollins and gets the layup.
Boy, was that a good description. I mean, there's like tree was nailed to the floor. The tree had the roots deep that time.
Tree playing with a sore back. He lost his starting job to John Koncak with his back difficulties. Koncak's been playing well. And Rollins wasn't even looking and didn't get the pass from Whitman. Threet on the pass again, tries the reverse. Corzine keeps it alive. And we've got a jump ball.
Well, Sedale forgot that he had a left hand, Bob, because that was the shot. It was a left-handed shot he should have taken.
Whitman and Rollins rest. Dominique Wilkins, Spud Webb back into the ball game for the Atlanta Hawks. Pippen with the fake and the drive. Tried the reverse from the wrong place, and there's Horace Grant. Has it rejected by Willis. Dominique Wilkins fouled by Sedale Threet. Well, it's been all Atlanta. 41-28 with 8:50 to go in the second quarter. Brad Sellers, whose job was at the beginning of the game to stop Dominique Wilkins, matches up with him again. Sellers is probably shell-shocked. I think Sellers got a piece of that one. He's a 7-footer, remember. Now there's Kevin Willis, who is playing with more life in his legs than I've seen since the injury. Stolen by Wilkins. Atlanta. Threet, Grant, Paxson, Corzine, and Sellers for the Bulls. Illegal defense against Atlanta called on Dominique Wilkins. Illegal defense has been called against the Atlanta Hawks. You can see the fatigue in the eyes of Mike Fratello and in the eyes of Doug Collins, and of course the players. Both teams have had grueling early schedules, particularly this month of January. Sellers. Corzine from the baseline. That's 6 points for Dave Corzine off the bench. He's been playing well in a relief role.
And he's looking to shoot the ball, something that earlier in the season he'd come in sometimes and really wouldn't look to be on.
Livingston finds Webb. He's wide open. Takes it to the hoop over Paxson. We've got a loose ball foul against Chicago.
It's on Livingston.
Check that. Right, it's against Atlanta with Livingston.
You know, right now, Chicago has a chance to get back in. Atlanta's gone a bit flat. Neek has cooled off some, and they can chip away at this lead. They have plenty of time to get it respectable before the half.
Sellers has a good perimeter shot. That one, he wasn't even set at all. Wilkins. It's Chicago ball. Willis failed to save the ball.
In fact, if Chicago was shooting the ball better at the start of this period, especially Pippen, who had some wide open shots, this ball game would be even more interesting than it still is.
Dominique's shooting percentage has dropped. He's cooled a bit here in the second quarter. Now 11 of 17. Dominique Wilkins, in case you joined us late, had 24 first quarter points. Paxson to Grant breaking, and he's fouled on the drive. Horace Grant, the second first-round draft choice this year. He was fouled by John Battles for the Chicago Bulls. Team foul situation, 2 on the Hawks, 2 on the Bulls, with 7:03 to go, second quarter. Grant will go to the line. Horace Grant only shoots free throws at a 55% clip as he hits that one.
Nothing but net. He'll probably bury this one too, since you're talking about his inadequacies at the line.
The black striping on the shoulder of the Chicago Bulls is in memory of Chicago Mayor Harold Washington, of course, who died recently. And we've got a timeout. Atlanta Hawks with the score on the floor, 43-32. Atlanta by 11. The game has cooled a bit since the opening, but then it had to, or it would have become the Sun. 6:59 remaining in the half. It's now a 9-point Atlanta lead with 6:33 to go in the half. The Atlanta Hawks only 2 out of 12 shooting the ball in this quarter after shooting 76% in the first. Battle. (45-34) Atlanta.
That was on Spud Webb holding on Paxson as Doc Rivers comes back to the game for Spud. Here's a look at what Doc has done against the Bulls this season. He missed one of the ball games, the first one we did here, as opposed to what he did against the NBA. You can see his numbers are up considerably.
Nearly a triple-double against the Bulls. Blocked by Concat. To Battle. It's 3-on-2. Wilkins calling for it. He gets it and jams it. I don't know, All-Star Saturday Slam Dunk Contest is exciting, but it can't be a lot more exciting than what we've seen from Wilkins and to some degree from Jordan. Jordan has 10 points in the game. Make it 12.
He's 6 for 7. He spent a long time on the bench in that second period. I guess Doug trying to rest him, hoping the team could battle back in, which they've done. Gave him a lot of rest, which should make him stronger for the end, and that's when they normally go to Michael. So good strategy on the part of Collins, and it seems to have paid off. But no, the dunk contest will make this look like a joke.
You got that right. Contact just inside three-point line. Corzine rebound. Paxson, 20. Kept alive by Michael Jordan.
Dominique is on Michael right now.
Well, here's a beautiful matchup. Dominique Wilkins playing Jordan. They've isolated. Jordan gets past Wilkins. Gets the reverse, won't fall. Rivers running with the Hawks. Has Battle and Wilkins. Corzine rebounds.
Darrell Garrettson, the official, knocked down on that play.
For 3, Paxson from Oakley. Livingston with a rebound for Atlanta. Garrettson back up and okay. Over there on the baseline. 28 points for Dominique Wilkins, and now we've got to start checking on Dominique's record and the Omni record for points and a half. As Rick Barry told you once during his career, he had 38 points and a half. Jordan off the Corzine screen. Illegal defense against Atlanta.
Lou Hudson has the record, 35. That was for half.
4:04 remaining in this half. Dominique Wilkins has 28 points. He certainly has that in range. The illegal defense sends Jordan to the line, and the Bulls will get the ball, as that is a technical foul. And there's the retired jersey of Sweet Lou Hudson. Still lives in Atlanta. Was at a Hawks game just a couple of weeks ago to MC a promotional contest at halftime. And by the way, Lou Hudson got his 35 halftime record against the Bulls in 1964. Jordan. And Jordan has 15 points.
7 for 8 shooting. Well, 7 for 9. He missed that reverse.
Wilkins with 30. Well, I've never seen a quarter like this by an individual in a game that I've witnessed personally, that is for sure. Corzine to Sellers, who traveled, but they didn't call it. 3 seconds is the call against Oakley. We said it was showtime. Look at that. Wilkins has doubled Jordan's point, and Jordan has 15 already.
And the way Michael's shooting, if he had taken as many shots as Dominique, he'd be right up there with him.
John Battle shoots it over Jordan. Long rebound comes back to Battle. He gets hit by Oakley, but Oakley goes down. It's into the paint. Hawks will reset it with a new shot clock. 2:52 to go in the half. 51-39 Atlanta. Corzine has played well. Corzine came in here off the bench, has 5 rebounds and 6 points. Tipped away by Jordan. Back to, of all people, Dominique Wilkins. He's fouled on the drive. Will go to the line. Was done, of course, for charity. As I said, the Browner Psychiatric Institute is the organization getting it started. Here's Jordan against Wilkins. Goes to the layup. Move. Beautiful finesse move by Michael Jordan. He has 17. Wilkins has 30. What a show you are seeing tonight. I would have paid for a ticket. I really would have.
It must be really a great show if you do that, Bob.
Just to give you an idea how good it is. Rivers to contact. Rivers gets a loose ball. Doc Rivers having a good first half also. He has 9 points and 4 assists and 4 rebounds.
And 2 of them on the offensive end resulted in baskets.
10-point Atlanta lead. Minute 29 to go in the half.
It's a very important basket by Rivers for the Hawks. Michael Jordan, no, it's not a foul. It's an illegal defense being called by Darryl Garrett. It's not a result of a technical foul. But the reason I say that was a big hoop, because had they stopped the Hawks from scoring and Bulls get it back, it would have been 51-43 and a chance to really cut into that lead that was very large at one time.
Well, this is a 3-point opportunity, because after Jordan shoots and makes the free throw, giving him, by the way, 18 points in this first half, the Bulls will get the ball with a 24-second shot clock and a minute 24 remaining in the half. Doug Collins, Chicago coach. You can see the fatigue in the eyes of Doug. These guys played last night in Chicago and flew in here today in some rough weather with fog and rain and such in the Atlanta area. Of course, not to say the players aren't more tired physically. Sellers, 7-footer trying to shoot over contact. The 7-footer rebound Oakley. Oakley has 4 points.
And that's the way I like to see Oakley getting most of his points, inside where he belongs.
Chicago was down by 15. Now they've climbed back in here, and this is a 7-point ball game with less than a minute and a half. Stolen by Threet. Dale Threet has 4 points now, and this is a 5-point game with 45 seconds to go.
Good defense. The Bulls will get it back again and a chance to eat into it even more. And the Hawks electing not to go for a quick shot. They take that back.
Livingston with the offensive rebound. It won't go, but a foul against Chicago.
The reason I said that, Bob, now 33 seconds in the clock, Atlanta would get 2-1 against the Bulls, which will be the case now. They play good defense. They have 9 more seconds, even if 24 seconds is used up, to still get the final shot of the period, which I think is what most coaches will attempt to do in this circumstance.
Livingston goes to the free throw line for the Atlanta Hawks. Livingston shoots free throws at an 80% clip. You can see averaging nearly 10 points a game. And Livingston has played very well since Kevin Willis was injured. Matter of fact, Willis having a hard time getting minutes replacing Livingston. He's been playing so well on both ends of the court. Contact with a rebound. Big offensive board by John Contact. Contact has 5 rebounds in this ball game. Had 9 yesterday against the Knicks.
Now the Bulls, conversely, should try to use up as much time on the clock as possible.
Ten on the shot clock, 17 in the quarter. Jordan from the perimeter. There's the time remaining. Shot clock is off. And the Hawks are unable to capitalize on that extra opportunity. And at the half, Atlanta leads by 8, and Dominique Wilkins has 30 points. Jordan has 18, and it's only half over. We're going back in a moment to Craig Sager in our studios, and in a few minutes we'll be back with round 2. Four-point Hawks lead. Wilkins with 31. Into Livingston. I could not tell if that was a pass or a shot. Let's call it. I want to call it a pass. No, let's not. 61-55 Atlanta. Oakley. Hits it from the perimeter, and Charles Oakley has 6.
Now he can hit those shots. I'm not denying that. He's a good shooter out there, but I still think I'd rather see him inside. The fewer times he's out there, the better off for the Bulls. He only had 3 rebounds in the first half. Charles Oakley, we're talking about, leads the NBA with almost 14 a game.
5 points now for Cliff Livingston. Livingston had 8 first half rebounds for Atlanta.
Big mismatch here.
You bet. Takes it from the perimeter. Jordan now with 23. He is rapidly gaining on Wilkins, who has 31.
Well, that time Michael just said, let me see, I got the big man on me. Let me get in the spot where I like a jumper.
And Wilkins has definitely cooled off. He shot 76% of the first quarter, and his percentage is below 50 since then.
I'll tell you, he really got fatigued. Now, there's a time when you're doing things and you're all pumped up and you get a little tired, but Dominique was breathing exceptionally hard, and I think it took a little bit out of him. It might take him a while to get himself going again here in the second half.
Corzine with 10 on the shot clock gives it to Jordan. Bulls can pull to within 2. Sellers.
That's the advantage the Bulls have, is that when Michael gets double teamed, he's got a good outside shooter in Sellers in the front line. He's got a good outside shooter in Corzine, and also when they have Paxson in the game.
And we've got a kick. And the ball will remain in control of the Atlanta Hawks as Antoine Carr comes into the game for Cliff Livingston. Before the game, we talked about the 3 amigos, 3 guys who could really have a big effect on this game: Carr, Livingston, and Webb. You know, Carr and Battle, I should say. You know, Carr and Livingston played together at Wichita State. Both at one time were draft choices of the Detroit Pistons, although they didn't play there together.
Carr and Oakley really battling for position that last time down the court, pushing one another.
Now there's a beautiful, excuse me, it would have been an assist by Dominique Wilkins, but an offensive foul called on Rivers.
And a good call on the part of Daryl Garretson, because Doc threw that left arm out to avoid the potential block.
And took an assist away from Dominique.
And a chance for the Bulls to tie or go into the lead.
Sellers, Jordan, Rory Sparrow, Corzine, and Oakley on the floor. Probably the Bulls' best 5. The 5 you'd see in crunch time would be my guess. Jordan all the way to Sellers. Oakley got the loose ball. Starts it all over again. Nice play by Rivers, couldn't save it. It'll be Bulls ball, 20 seconds on the shot clock, and the Bulls have a chance to tie this game for the first time since it was 6-6. open in the corner. Gets the ball. This is the basket. There's Corzine, but he couldn't control. Whitman off the break. The tip by Carr. Antoine Carr played only 14 minutes against the Knicks yesterday. Did have 3 block shots during that 14-minute span. Hawks now up by 4. This is where Atlanta can excel. They are the league's best defensive team. Traveling Sparrow. 2 trips down the court, and the Hawks have denied the Bulls.
Now what Doug Collins has done, and I think it's a wise move, he's taking Sparrow out, bringing Threet in, because Threet's another good outside shooter. They're worried about doubling Michael and they move the ball. He wants to have another good shooter available for them to pass the ball to.
Threet, number 3, will play Doc Rivers. Hawks by 4, 6:19 to go in the third quarter. Rivers running the show. They're trying to get a 2-man game going here, but it has to be a 1-man game. Carr gets the shooter's bounce. Now the Hawks have jumped back up here by 6 after the Bulls had an opportunity to tie. Corzine with 3 or 4 moves before the perimeter shot goes, and he has 12. Against Oakley. A couple of strong men. Rebound Corzine. His 7th rebound of this game off the bench. Jordan with 23 points on the ball finds Corzine open for the perimeter shot. Tried to take it off the glass from a bad angle. Oakley with the foul. Doc Rivers came together pretty hard there. Both of them are okay.
Watch the double team. The good pass by Michael to the open man. Corzine bothered by Carr coming out. And now we see Oakley taking down Doc Rivers. 2 points for the takedown. Charles Oakley. Way to go, Charles. I told those guys last week when we had him in Chicago with the wrestlers there. Dusty Rhodes and Rick.
Maybe Oakley should have tried to. That's Dominique Wilkins with his 33rd point. Maybe he should have tried to pin Mahorn the other night. 69-63 Atlanta. 4:48 to go, third quarter. Jordan over Whitman, and Michael has 25.
Well, I think the fans are being treated to not only 2 great individual performances, but to an outstanding basketball game by 2 fine teams. The Bulls, of course, a major surprise this year, but you can see why they're sustaining it. They're playing well.
Wilkins took the ball in and had Corzine in his face. He came off of contact. Wilkins got the ball to contact, and it's 71-65 Atlanta. Contact has 6 points and 8 rebounds. Into Jordan. Look at that. That was a near impossible shot over Carr. Antoine Carr is beneath the basket, stunned.
He was held before the shot and fouled. When he went up, now watch this move again. He's going to be held underneath. You'll see the pass inside. He'll be held down there. And then he goes up and does a 180, flips it off the boards, comes down with a 360, got fouled and laid it in. Now that is great body control, great touch, and knowing what to do when you get a chance. Here it is from down low. There was the hole. Now he sees the body contact, flips it up, knew where the glass was. You saw him look to the glass. He knew where it was. That was not a lucky shot.
Hawks reverse it from a double team Wilkins. They get it back to Rivers for the drive. Beautiful move by Doc Rivers. What a ball game. 5-point Atlanta lead, 3:40 to go, third quarter. And here comes Jordan again against 3. Out to Threet. Missing the perimeter contact. 9th rebound. Wilkins on the run. Has Doc Rivers up ahead. Gives to Whitman over to Rivers. 15 for Doc Rivers. Timeout Chicago. 3:23 to go in the third quarter.
2:18 to go. Third quarter, 75-68 Atlanta. Jordan in the paint, pulled it down and got it to Oakley.
He's just an amazing player, so smart, such great athletic ability, and not many players playing the game today could have made that play.
A lot of people thought he traveled because he landed first, but he did not. 75-70 Atlanta. 2:55 to go in the quarter. Here's Carr. Tried to get it to Rivers. Out of bounds, Chicago ball. You were talking about a well-balanced good game despite the fireworks by Wilkins-Jordan. Randy Whitman has 11 assists for Atlanta tonight, a career high.
Well, he's throwing it to Dominique in the first period. Got about 9 of them.
Jordan isolated. Now the double team. They got to find the open man. Where is he?
Right there. And this time they hit it.
There you go. It's like a coaching film. 75-72 Atlanta by 3. Sellers, who now has 8 points with the perimeter shot. Carr. Rebound, Koncak. His 10th rebound in this ball game.
Well, speaking of the double, the Hawks have to be a little bit more selective as to when they double. They doubled in a bad situation. Michael still had the dribble, had plenty of time to pick the defense apart.
Whitman off 2 screens. Nice pass into Rivers. He's fouled hard by Oakley. John Battle set to come into the ball game. Oakley has 3 personals.
See, but you know what Doc Rivers is doing so well tonight, Bob, is that when his man leaves him and goes in double teams, he does what a player should do. Go to the basket. That creates more problems for the defense because it's another offensive threat in the area of the paint. And as you have seen all night long, he's gotten some great opportunities off of those cuts.
Rivers with 15 tonight.
He had something very good to say. He said in the past that getting a free meal in Atlanta was impossible. He said now it's no problem. Being one of the tightest guys in the league, I can really appreciate that.
I wonder where it is. Maybe I can find out. I rank right up there. Oakley with the rebound as Doc Rivers missed both his free throws, and Rivers is normally a 79% free throw shooter. Bulls can pull to within 1 or tie on a 3-pointer. Jordan. With his 11th rebound. He may be going toward a career high. Behind the back to Wilkins, blocked by Sellers.
And what happened, Dominique brought the ball with his right hand back to the defensive man who was trailing as Livingston comes in with Battle. Now when you're going across the lane and your man's trailing, that's where a player like Larry Bird has an advantage with the great left-hand shooting ability because that required a left-handed shot.
Now the bench scoring. Chicago's bench has come in and performed well. Atlanta's with only 10 points. Right now the Atlanta bench will get an opportunity as Wilkins and Rivers rest. And we have John Battle into the ball game. Livingston and Carr. Contact off balance. Hits the hook anyway out of the paint. Contact with 8. I saw Koncak get his career high 25 against Denver here in Atlanta just the other night. Played a very complete ball game. Feeds to Grant on the give and go, and then Grant gets it to Oakley. That was nicely done by Chicago, but they couldn't convert the 3-point opportunity. Willis checking in for the Atlanta Hawks now as Koncak will get a rest.
And look at Koncak as you see Willis right now as he goes to the bench. A little story about why he may be playing better ball this year. For not only the fact that he had the jaw operated on and feels better about looking at himself, but he really feels that last year when he had his first child was born, that really disrupted his concentration. And he felt that he was more
It'll do
worried.
that.
Well, it can do that. And he felt that he had devoted too much concentration and effort towards the new member of the family, and it really did detract from his performance. And this year he's accustomed to it, and he's playing much better.
Tonight, Koncak has been just a monster on the board. He has 11 rebounds. His season high is 15.
His daughter's name, by the way, is Jessica.
And he's not like sorry. He just said he distracted from his game.
No, he said, I know we're professionals, he said, but sometimes it's really hard to put personal things aside.
Livingston. He's matched against Sellers now. Battle wanted to reverse it, couldn't do it. Tried the drive. Good Chicago defense. Paxson batted it out of bounds. .53 seconds to go in the third quarter. 3-point Atlanta lead.
Both coaches got the aces resting
For the last seconds of the quarter.
That's right. You give them the last minute of the period. You have the timeout during the break, and so that gives them an opportunity to get the additional or a sustained period of rest.
Sellers missing from long range. Oakley loses the rebound to a better position to John Battle. 22 seconds to go in the half. You see it at the bottom right-hand corner. This could prove to be a big possession here in a very close game. Chicago had a foul to take and wisely did so. Now both teams with 14 fouls, 9 seconds to go in the quarter.
If you're going to use it, though, why use it with 9 seconds? Why not with only a couple of seconds to go? It makes it tougher for the team to have a chance to operate. 9 seconds is plenty of time.
Clock to 3. Battle double dribble.
I guess because you knew they were going to have a turnover and they'd have 3 seconds left that way.
They had scouted it well and knew that off that inbound pass they had double dribble. Paxson can't get it inbounds. Does to Jordan. The three. He loses it out with 1 second.
But see, if they had not waited, then they wouldn't have had to worry about this 1 second.
Oh my. The chess game of trying to decide something in the last 10 seconds. 1 second remaining in the quarter. The ball lost out of bounds again. That was kind of a garbage 45 seconds. And I have to tell this on Rick today. When Dominique Wilkins walked out for the shoot around, Rick was out just loosening up and shooting and kind of getting a little workout. And Rick Barry drove the lane, made a jam. Did you pull any muscles at your age, advanced age? Thank goodness I didn't. Corzine calls timeout as he was totally tied up by a furious, frenzied Atlanta Hawks
20 seconds.
defense.
They're changing it to a 20. Doug Collins wisely did that. Now, I don't know if they realize it. They don't call jump balls for 5 seconds in the NBA. So I don't know why he decided to do that. I mean, that's an old college problem that he had. Of course, you would do it then. There you see the good defense by the Hawks. Willis all over him. He can't find anyone open. All he needed to do is reverse pivot, turn his back to Willis as he does right here. You know, wait, somebody eventually will come over to help him out, and he calls the timeout.
Willis was all over him there. John Bach is the Bulls assistant on the far left of your screen.
Former Warriors head coach.
You bet. John Bach with 37 years experience as a head coach. Friday night, New Jersey Nets will be at Indiana.
Interesting to see what happens with the trade that was made there. Zeminski going to Philadelphia, and of course Henson. Those are the 2 big name players that were involved.
Speaking of experience, how about Jack Ramsey, coach of Indiana? He's done a great job since going to the Pacers. Jordan, the turnaround won't go. Rebound Carr. Still 77-74 as we're in our final 11 minutes 30 seconds of what has been a very entertaining ball game. Hope you've enjoyed it.
Dominique getting a little extra rest as Michael's back in.
Spud Webb works against Paxson. Webb and Battle with Livingston, Willis, and Carr for Atlanta. Livingston from the perimeter missing. Gets his own loose ball and backs it home with Livingston.
The difference between him making that shot and not making the other one was the first one he wasn't thinking shot. He was thinking pass and then just at the last moment decided to shoot it. The second one he just got the ball and shot it.
Livingston with 10 rebounds, 7 points. And the personal on Kevin Willis. Kevin Willis has been very frustrated since returning from his knee sprain. Talked to Brendan Sir, Hawks assistant coach, about Kevin Willis, and also Don Chaney earlier today. And Chaney said Kevin's biggest problem right now is not the right knee strain, but simply the frustration of trying to get back in the lineup, trying to get back into his game. Corzine had to have his shot changed because of good defense by Willis. 79-74 Atlanta.
Mike Fratello had a very, very long talk with Kevin Willis after the shoot-around this morning, trying to get him in the proper frame of mind to deal with this problem.
Battle for 3 points. He's the Hawks' leading 3-point shooter. Missed this time. Battle 9th in the league at 3-point percentage. That's Threet off the long rebound and the fast break. 3-point Atlanta lead with 10:20 to go in the game.
Dominique now getting up to come back into the ball game.
Battle down to Carr against Horace Grant. Hawks try to reverse it. Good Chicago defense.
That was a walk.
And instead we're going to get a foul. It was after, I agree with you, Rick, the walk, but the foul will be called on Paxson. Yes. On Paxson's second. And now Carr and Livingston go out. Koncak back into the ball game along with Dominique Wilkins. Beautiful play by Jordan as he came around from nowhere past Wilkins. And he's fouled by Webb on the drive to the basket. Webb waited for contact to get out in front, so it became what is in effect a half-court game, and you don't get a breakaway foul in that kind of situation. Rivers back in for Webb. Bulls can pull to within 1 and or tie on this possession as they trail by 3.
That's 2 great moves on the part of Threet. He went around Spud, who just left the ball game, and that time he right around Battle.
Threet warming up. He has 8 points off the bench. Threet had 26 last night against Washington. There they are. Jordan and Wilkins to Rivers. Beautifully done by the Hawks. Lead back to 3.
Doug Collins didn't yell and scream at his players, but he wanted to. I can tell he was holding it back because no way that Rivers should have walked in with no one contesting him.
Jordan gets a pick from Corzine, and he's fouled on the block by John Koncak. Picked up his second personal. Nobody in real foul trouble in this ballgame.
And see, here's the difference between these 2 players as Whitman comes in talking about Dominique and Michael. This is the time of a ball game from here on in where Michael Jordan can totally take over because he creates and does so much for his team. Dominique doesn't have that ability yet. He really is not a creator for other people's benefit. He can do wonderful things on his own, but he hasn't developed that aspect of his game yet.
Paxson off the screen. Rare miss from out there, but Corzine gets it to Grant for the jam. Grant has 4, and Corzine has played himself a whale of a ball game. Rick, it's a 1-point game now. Think about this for a minute and then comment. What if you swapped Wilkins to Chicago and Jordan to Atlanta? Here's Wilkins against Jordan. Passed about everybody, lost the ball, controlled by Rivers. Take it right downtown. Dominique Wilkins.
Yeah, Bob, you know, I try to avoid controversy, and you're trying to put me on the spot again. But I will give you my answer.
Look at the pass. The lob to Jordan from 3.
My answer is Atlanta would be a better team, and Chicago wouldn't be as good.
Willis with the rebound and the stick back. And I think most people who follow the game know exactly what you're talking about and why, because the completeness of the Jordan game. Traveling the call. Atlanta ball, leading by 3, 7:50 remaining. However, neither team would trade either player, so it's a moot point anyway.
No, and I love to watch both of the players we're talking about perform, and they're 2 first-class individuals, which means even more to me.
3-point Atlanta lead in possession of the ball. This game is getting down to it now. Double team on Wilkins, finds the open Rivers, who switched it to the open Whitman. Buried it from the perimeter. 11 rebounds in this game now for Cliff Livingston for Atlanta, despite the lost ball.
Not an area for the timid to be in for the rest of this game. Down deep in the paint.
Charles Oakley getting near his rebound total. He has 7 now. He didn't rebound well in the first half. Jordan missed from the perimeter. Wilkins over everybody. He's fouled on the drive. Wilkins has scored only 5 points in this half. He had 30 in the half, got 3 only in the third quarter after scoring 24 in the first quarter. And if you tuned in late to our telecast tonight and missed the first half show by Dominique Wilkins, we'll replay it in terms of him reenacting it on February 6th in the slam dunk contest.
Well, he really shot the ball as well as I've seen him shoot the ball, coming off of screens, squaring up and firing, good rotation, good form on the shot. But he got very, very tired, and they've been on a tough schedule. They had 5 games in 7 days. They're on another 5 to 7 day grind here, and then they go 4 and 6. So it's a tough month for Atlanta, and I think it took its toll on Dominique in that first period.
Jordan lost control of the ball, and he gets hammered as he drives into 3 players. 89-84, Atlanta by 5 with 6:23 remaining in the game. Livingston with the personal, his second.
I tell you, Michael Jordan is such a popular individual in the entire country, in fact overseas as well. a youngster, a little black boy, came up and asked me for my autograph. I'm sure his father sent him over because he had no idea who I was. But he says to me after I signed this ball, he had a little ball deflated, and he says, "Could you please do me a big favor?" And I said, "Well, what is that?" He says, "Could you please get me Michael Jordan's autograph?" I told him to bring me the ball after the game when I get it for him. He was so sweet.
Michael Jordan has done a great job of handling the pressures of being such a big superstar. I will say this, as great as Jordan is, though, Rick, you're in the Hall of Fame, and he isn't yet.
Well, it made me feel good that he wanted my autograph, actually.
3-point lead by Atlanta, 6-12 to go in the ball game. Livingston, no place to go, shoots it over Oakley. That was a big bucket by Livingston. He's got 9. Hawks half-court defense, switching, trying to go for a double team. Now Jordan isolated against Whitman. They reverse it to Sellers, who is open. But he's been missing from the perimeter. Jordan not getting the perimeter help tonight, or at least in the second half.
It's been the big difference, I think, in the Bulls' success thus far, is missing those opportunity jumpers. And they've had a lot of them from 15 to 18 feet.
The Atlanta Hawks shooting right about 50%. Whitman ups that percentage with that shot, and the Hawks are 15-0 this year when they shoot 50%. 93-86 Atlanta, 5:20 remaining. Jordan with 32 points. Sellers has gone cold. Stolen by Rivers. Beautiful patience on the part of Doc Rivers. Timeout, Chicago. 5:02 to go in the ball game. A 9-point Atlanta lead. Livingston with a double-double, 11 points and 12 rebounds.
That's why they say you don't want to let the teams beat you inside. Make them beat you from the outside. The Bulls have not been able to capitalize on the opportunity shots.
And Jordan now missing. Rebound, Rivers. What a night Doc Rivers is having.
He had 14 rebounds the last time these two teams played. He's got a bunch of them tonight as well.
Look at the difference. Atlanta is out rebounding Chicago by 15. Rivers has 9 rebounds, 19 points, 8 assists, close to a triple-double in action here tonight. That's
Oakley
basket
tipped it in.
interference.
Oakley tipped it in.
They'll probably give it to Dominique Wilkins, as he was the closest to the basket.
He's the one that shot it, so they'll get it.
The Hawks have exploded into a 13-point lead.
You know, it's the old story of you dig yourself a hole, try and climb out of it. Jordan will go to the line, as was fouled by, I think, it would be on Livingston, I believe. And you just cannot keep trying to claw back out of a deficit. You get close, all of a sudden you slip back, and this has happened. And each time they've gotten close, Bob, it seems as though they slipped a little further back each time.
Jordan to the line for 2. Livingston has 4 personals now. Michael Jordan with 33 points. Wilkins has 39. Long foul, Chicago trainer on the right of Doug Collins. On the right of your screen. And it's an 11-point Atlanta lead with 3:46 remaining in the game. Rivers penetrates, gives it to Koncak for the outside shot. Oakley with the rebound, his 8th in the game.
Bob, I've noticed something. The last 4 players who have shot outside shots and missed, not one of them ever followed through completely with the shot. That time Sellers did. It was closer than the other ones, but he was off to the right.
Knocked out of bounds by Jordan. It will belong to Atlanta. By the way, a longtime friend of the NBA, specifically of the Atlanta Hawks, a man who was with them when they were the St. Louis Hawks, Irv Yak, in a hospital recovering from a heart attack. We wish him the very best.
Well, I hope he gets out. I tried to give him a call today, but he was in the intensive care unit, so hopefully he'll come out of it.
Whitman has 12 now. Might point out that Kevin Willis off the bench has had his best game overall since he returned from the knee sprain, too. So that's going to be a real battle for that position between Livingston and Willis, which is nothing but good news for the Atlanta Hawks. The long rebound, 12 in this game now for Koncak. And for all practical purposes, this one's history. Morris Grant getting set to check in for Chicago. Rivers and the Hawks milking it. Whitman Tried to get it to contact, lost out of bounds with 6 on the shot clock, and Grant comes into the game out of Clemson.
Well, Bob, you look back on this ball game, Chicago put through a valiant effort, but it was their outside shooting, the open shooting, that has really been their downfall.
Along with Rick Barry, it's Bob Neal from the Omni in Atlanta. It has been a red-hot showtime game here tonight. Dominique Wilkins tonight had 24 in the first quarter, has 39 now. Jordan has come back strong and has 38 in the second half in the battle between the two supermen of pro basketball. What a display. And Wilkins, he's fouled by Grant. The Hawks have been shooting a good percentage tonight, 52%. And you see what happens when Atlanta shoots well. And I guess there are several things. Of course, the perimeter shots of guys like Whitman are falling, etc., and Wilkins is having a good game. But it also usually means they get offensive rebounds and run well, correct?
It means that they're playing good defense, getting some easy opportunities, getting the dunks, the inside game, which will always keep that percentage up higher. And the Hawks, the leading defensive team in the NBA, keeping teams under 100 points. And one of the reasons for that is they hold the opposition to about 43% shooting.
You know, Cliff Levingston is 4th in the NBA in shooting percentage at 58%. Three-pointer misses. Rivers with a big rebound. And the foul. It's out here at half court against Oakley. And what I was going to say, Cliff Levingston with 58%, 4th in shooting percentage as you look at Cliff Levingston. And one of the keys is Levingston has 106 of his 234 rebounds offensive. He's getting a lot of second easy layup shots.
I think he has been, talking to Mike Fratello this morning, the man responsible for the success of the Hawks during this stretch with the injury to Willis. If Levingston was not playing, as Dominique was out of the game, Levingston were not playing the type of basketball he is playing, Mike is certain that the Hawks would be struggling.
And for the second night in a row, a 40-point plus night for Wilkins. He had 45 against the Knicks in a losing cause. He has 41 here tonight after getting 24 in the first quarter. That's the 6th time this year that Dominique has scored more than 40 points. And not to be overshadowed, Doc Rivers, a triple-double. 19 points, 10 rebounds, and 10 assists. It's been a real team game for these Hawks tonight. Grant, 3. Rebound, Corzine. Stolen by Webb. Controlled by Sellers. Footer has it taken away powerfully by Livingston with 39 seconds to go in the game, and the Hawks now making a big run. This game, when people see the score, will think it was just a ho-hum win for the Hawks. Those of us who've seen it will know differently. Chris Washburn may get a couple of seconds in this game if he has an opportunity to enter. He's on the sideline. Webb, 2-point shot misses. Corzine rebound. And I don't think Washburn's ever going to get in. Grant from the perimeter with 7 seconds remaining. Ball game is over. 106-94 Atlanta. Dominique Wilkins with 41. Jordan with 38.
In an amazing duel between these superstars, the Hawks were able to take home the victory, 106-94. Dominique ended the game with 41. MJ wasn't too far behind with 38. Now, Jordan was able to get a measure of revenge less than a month later in Chicago, defeating Wilkins in one of the most memorable slam dunk contests in NBA history. We thank you for watching this edition of Hardwood Classics on NBA TV. I'm Rick Kamla. We'll see you next time.